Hi Capricorn, and welcome back to my channel. Whether you are a Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or however Capricorn may show up on your astrological natal chart, then these messages are for you. And today I'm going to be focusing on the topic of we've reconciled, now what? I'll talk more about that in a minute. But first, my name is Lexa Tarot, and I am a second degree Reiki practitioner, as well as an intuitive tarot and oracle reader. And if you're interested in learning more about me, my client testimonials, my credentials, scheduling a private recorded reading, learning more about my Patreon platform, as well as Patreon shop, then look down below in the description box. All that information is there. For those of you who are my subscribers, my new viewers, and visitors alike, I want to thank each and every one of you for your love, your support, and your loyalty to our channel. I greatly appreciate it. And today I'm going to be focusing on the topic, we've reconciled, now what? All right. So you could be in either one of these three categories. You could be thinking about reconciling with your partner. Some of you are already in the process of reconciliation. Others of you have already reconciled, but are still, learning and growing. Wherever you may be in the reconciliation process, then these messages are for you. Okay. All right, we're going to take a look and see what is coming through. So now you've reconciled. Now what? What are the next steps? What's going on energetically here? And let's take a quick look. Now I am reversing half of the deck because this deck has messages on both ends. Okay. So let's see what's coming through for you, Capricorn. You've reconciled, or we've reconciled. Now what? By the way, you just came out in Gemini's reading. So for some of you, that may be a sign symbol synchronicity there. Okay. This says empathetic bridges embrace healing by being kind, balancing life's contrasting forces. Okay. So again, empathetic bridges embracing healing by being kind, balancing life's contrasting forces. Now, the energy here in regards to this reconciliation process here between you, Capricorn, and your partner is starting to, or including, obviously, it's embracing the healing process here. There may have been a lot of disagreements, harsh words. I'm getting here energies of, maybe saying the wrong thing, or not saying anything at all in those either arguments or whatever may have happened here within the connection. But this is talking about having a complete, shift or change from that energy and looking at it from the lens of, okay, so this happened, this was said, this was done. Obviously accepting responsibility here and accountability, but also taking a look at what was the root force of this obstacle, challenge, situation, blockage that created this breakup, separation, or even talks of divorce. So there's this sense of compassion, there's a sense of understanding or wanting to understand or wanting to repair, wanting to build, wanting to mend the core of what created the breakup, separation, and even talks of divorce. But doing so, focusing on the unconditional love aspect of the connection rather than looking at the problem, rather than looking at each other as the problem, looking actually pivoting from that, perspective. So instead of kind of, coming at each other and thinking both of you are the problem, really kind of shifting your perspective on this is the problem and we are here together as a team to figure this out together. So there is an element here of love, of compassion, of kindness, of balancing the energy here of the, the yelling, the screaming, the sense of, battling each other here energetically, maybe even pride being here at the core of this situation, circumstance, or event. And instead of looking at each other as the problem, kind of in a way joining forces and understanding that the problem is here and both of you are here together to tackle the problem. Okay, so let's see what else is coming through. Empathetic bridges is the sense of bridging both you and your partner, okay, that unity together. Okay, so bridging the unconditional love that is still, felt underneath all the anger and the sadness. All right, you have here, you are good enough. And the you is not just individual. It could be, individually, but this could also be together as a couple. So both of you are good enough. There may be here a little bit of understanding here that there's a lot of decluttering that needs to happen in regards to the heart. Now, I'm saying the heart because there's a lot of green here, and green is known to be the color symbolizing the heart chakra, which is the energy, one of the energy centers of the body. So Virgo is the energy, is the sign here that has a lot to do with analytical thinking. Um, and this is kind of in a way saying that in order for this bridge or bridging of this unconditional love and this healing and the sense of balancing the contrast of the bickering and the kind of being at each other's throat type of energy, or blaming each other, that needs to be cleared. There's a decluttering that needs to occur because this energy that has been cluttering either your connection or has been living rent free either in your mind, Capricorn, or your partner's mind, has been underrating this whole, or undermining the love within this connection, you know? So this is talking about the healing aspect of the heart chakra and decluttering the over analytical tendencies or energies here. It's okay to think. Logical, rational, analytical thinking is important. Using intelligence is important. Being able to see things from a broader point of view is important. But also, overthinking can create this sense here of analysis paralysis, analyzing something so much to the point that it's cluttering the clarity of where, you know, where their goal, where your goals are as a couple. Okay. So this is what this good enough is talking about. And there could be here some sense of self-worth issues that also need to be taken into account in regards to this reconciliation. These self-sabotaging thoughts or limited beliefs that you individually, Capricorn, you individually, and your partner individually need to also heal from in order to create a better foundation together. Now, Virgo is an earth sign, so a lot of this is also talking about grounding, um, grounding or creating a sense of stability here, having to do with your hearts, with the unconditional love. It says clarity, as you wish, stay present, truth emerges. And these are supposed to be like lavender. Lavender is calming. So there's this energy here of keeping in mind that in order to embrace the healing process, in order to come from a space of unconditional love, that things need to be aired out. The cluttering of what's been happening either on your mind or on your partner's mind needs to be cleared. The sense of maybe even talking about here self-worth issues, the self-defensiveness, the pride, all of that needs to be discussed and cleared because, again, there's this energy here where that may be creating, or it could be at the core of this breakup, separation, or even talks of divorce within this connection. So, as you clear, as you come to understand more about yourself and why maybe you, Capricorn, or why your partner may resort to tactics of, you know, speaking angrily towards each other, maybe disrespecting each other in some way, shape, or form, moving in a direction that's less than lovable. This is about you really taking a kind of like self accountability on the things that you need to work on yourselves individually, and then looking at how you can work together to gain the sense of staying present, to be honest about why those actions or reactions happened, not on the superficial level, because being angry, it feels very intense, of course, but it's superficial. Sometimes people are angry because underneath the anger is the sadness, the hurt. There could be a sense of jealousy, but underneath the jealousy is the fear of abandonment. You see what I'm saying? So there could be here some superficial energies or emotions or tactics being shown through that breakup, separation, and even talks of divorce, but there's more underneath. What's causing that jealousy? What's causing the ego? What's causing the pride? What's causing what's causing the anger, right? And going deeper. And this is talking about going deep into the honesty of that and doing so with, a state of calmness, but also doing it from a sense of unconditional love. What's beautiful here is that there's like a journal here, and that may be here something that both of you can have a journal, okay? Journaling, maybe even writing letters to each other, because when you write a letter, you get to hear or read, obviously. I hear when I read a letter, I hear it in my mind, like I'm reading it out loud in my mind. That's why I said that. But for some of you, maybe that's what happens with you too. But when you read something that someone has written, there's no interruption. You see what I'm saying? Like you're not interrupting the person because it's already written there. So there may be something here in regards to writing letters to each other, or maybe building the sense of embracing the healing process here through writing or through journaling, like writing a love letter to each other, writing an apology letter to each other, writing a letter focusing on the vulnerabilities that you may have that, are independently, maybe your situation, circumstance, or event, maybe traumas from the past on your end, Capricorn, or on your partner's end, and really being able to be vulnerable. And maybe speaking may be a little bit challenging, but maybe writing where those emotions come from could be useful and helpful. Let's take a look here at what else is coming through. And we have here, okay, so you know what? That happens for a reason. Validation confirmation was just talking about talking. Okay, so talking or forms of communication here. Okay, this one didn't want to come up, so that's fine. There's this energy here of both of you improving your forms of communication with each other, and keeping in mind that that needs to be from a sense of, this grounded energy, making sure that both of you are entering communication, the texts, the calls, and the forms of communication being within the context of compassion towards each other, okay, and a sense of vulnerability. All right. By the way, Capricorn, I do have an advice here, so just stay tuned here for that. Hanged Man energy. This is all talking about perspective. The Hanged Man energy here is about both of you taking a look at the issue, the situation, circumstance that created, or kind of like the last straw on the camel's back that had you both part ways, or had one of you part ways here. The Hanged Man energy is a hard pause. It is here something at, kind of in a stagnant hold. But that hold is important because it's bringing the Hanged Man to look at things from a different point of view. That is the reason why the Hanged Man is upside down. Through looking at something from a different point of view, through looking at it from the lens of compassion and unconditional love, from looking at this breakup, separation, and talks of divorce, and looking at this reconciliation process from the angle of, yes, there was a lot of anger, that was shown, but and maybe disrespectful, actions shown, but what was at the core of it. So kind of looking at it from a different angle here. And listen, I'm not a therapist, but I'm just saying what's coming through here energetically. And some of you may need to kind of go in that path of therapy, couples therapy, you know, or therapeutic resources of being able to communicate, whether that is a self-improvement book, whether that's journaling. But there is this sense here that communication is going to be very important because that is going to help you be a little bit clearer on things that may still be here very much uncertain or feel uncertain here within this reconciliation process. Last but not least, let's take a look at the advice here. And we have here masculine. Now, masculine is yang energy. This is not about gender. This is about the energy. And remember that I said this at the top of the reading. And by the way, I don't know what this may be talking about here, but I know that I was feeling this energy of this rawness, this sense of like anger and those emotions that I was talking about at the top of the reading. So the fact that that has come up here as yang energy, I feel that there was a lot of perhaps that going on for in this breakup, separation, or even talks of divorce. I feel that also pride was a matter here that needs to be discussed. Pride and ego, okay, and those types of frustrations here that may have kind of like there was like an overboard of this, all this energy here, okay, or pent up energy. Now let's see what masculine says. And both the lion and the person with this shield are looking towards the past or recent past. So I also feel that masculine here, before I even read this, that this masculine energy is talking about the yang energy, the commitment that it takes in order for both of you to put the actions that need to be seen in order to, again, not just talk about it, but back it up with actions as well. That being said, let's take a look at the advice. It says, masculine, challenges in life are inevitable, but the divine masculine, like the lion, shows resilience in adversity. The universe reminds both of you that true strength isn't shown in easy times, but when you choose to rise after falling. Beautiful message here. Capricorn, I hope these messages have been insightful. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you soon.